times.
There aren't very many drivers who have not been in and out of the pits. About the only ones that haven't are the guys the very front of the first five guys.
I can't really think of many that haven't. Owen, Mike, Giles, Garrett, and the other Garrett Archer, Garrett Evans in the 64.
I think that's about it.
Looks like it, yeah. So our top five have not been in the pits. Everyone else seems to have been in at least once.
51 laps have been run under yellow so far. And again, those yellow laps do not count in the 200 lap total that we have to run here this evening.
So we have 64 down green flag, which are the laps that we count.
Is that standard across racing?
For local short track racing, it is. You won't see it in NASCAR because they run so many laps. They pretty much have to count cautions, or else it's going to take forever and ever. But most of the time, local short track racing, you won't see them count caution laps.
So we'll have some more yellow laps here, yellow flag laps, as cars they've been idle here for several minutes. As you see Zaretsky's car there, the cause of our latest red flag.
Tough break for John out of Monroe, Washington. Braden Havens coming back down pit road, I see.
See if he can get back out there.
Sending them out.
And away he comes back out. A lot of Spokane area drivers here, but as we've said throughout, we've got drivers from throughout the Northwest and throughout the Western U.S.
Yep.
Here this evening, from Arizona, from Nevada. Originally, some guys were going to come up from Oregon and California, but in the last minute they had to back out because of other commitments.
Yeah, it was a tough break, but still we had an awesome field of cars take the green flag. Record-setting 32 cars took the green flag, beat the previous record by 1. 31 cars took the green flag in a race last year. So a new record tonight live on SWX for most cars in a Dr. Pepper Super Late Model race.
Would have had 33, but for the crash with Russ Osborne in the qualifying that kept him out of the race.
Yeah, horrifying accident for Russ Osborne. Lost it off turn number 2. Hit the inside wall, rode it on the side, hit a tire, and barrel rolled 3 or 4 times. And with Russ, that's even scarier considering Russ is driving with only his left hand and his left foot because of an injury in a hockey accident has left him paralyzed on his right side. So horrifying accident, but Russ is okay. And it was great news to hear that Russ Osborne was okay after his accident.
The pace car is off the track. This is going to mean racing begins here in just a moment or two. This is the last caution lap. And so now we'll have racing one more time here at Spokane Raceway. Spokane County Raceway there we go, one more time with Owen Riddle.
Giles Thornton spun the tires, it looked like, so that's going to allow Garrett Evans to sneak back into third. Oh, look at Longton on the outside.
Longton looks like he's making a move on the outside. So is Shane Thompson, but then Thornton's able to hold him off for the number 4 spot. Or Shane Mitchell, rather, for the 4 spot.
Giles and Shane kind of bottlenecked a little bit there. That was a tense moment, but we get out of it problem-free. Pete Harding back on the track in the 39. He's back out there as the side-by-side battle continues. Longton and Riddle. Whoa, Riddle got in the dirt. And that's going to open the door. New race leader Mike Longton back out front in the 37.
Well, for a little bit, let's see. Because here comes, you can see it right there, Owen Riddle. Longton just able here on the backstretch to hold him off as they head into turn number 3 here.
Longton's got him on the straightaway, but Riddle's got him in the turns.
There goes Riddle again.
Back out front. New leader, Owen Riddle, back out front. Shows you just how strong those Yakima Fords are. Owen, Mike, Taylor. And they're coming up now on slow traffic. The 39,
yeah,
Pete Harding.
He's
pulling into the pits.
Yeah, he's done for the night probably at this point. Went out there, tried to run a lap, and it just isn't happening for him.
While we're watching, the leaders got another battle starting to heat up right behind them for third.
Thornton and Evans.
Talk about age difference. Garrett Evans, 4-time NASCAR Northwest champion, up against the youngest driver in the field, 14-year-old Giles Thornton. Evans with 350 career wins. Over 350. The last one of them came just a couple weeks ago in Post Falls, Idaho at State Line Speedway.
There's the battle for that third spot, and there's the leader, Owen Riddle. As he heads into turn 1, now into turn 2, and into the back stretch with a lead over Mike Longton.
There you see the battle for 6th. Jay Sauls has cleared Garrett Archer.
This is about as far back as Archer has been in the race, back into the 7th spot.
Believe so. Archer doing a great job keeping that 5 car up front. Jay Sauls, he was the car to beat in that race in State Line a couple weeks ago. That was their 200 lapper, the Idaho 200. Jay Sauls was the car to beat, but a flat tire opened the door for Garrett Evans to take home the win in that 200 lap race. Jay Sauls back on track in that number 20. Oh, Archer off the pace. Garrett Archer's off the pace in the 5 car.
Yeah, he is on the inside. He has slowed down quite a lot there.
Looks like a flat tire as I see sparks. We'll see when he pulls in. So he's going to make it safely back to pit road.
Yep. And that has
flat tire. No, the tire's not flat. Doesn't look like it, at least. They're going to check out the
They are going to change the tire, though.
They're going to check out the car. Looks like they're going to jack up the rear end, so rear end issues on the 5 car.
There's our leader, Owen Riddle, as we did not get any yellow flag there, so we're still racing under the green flag here. Riddle with a fairly comfortable lead.
I'm still keeping an eye on that right front fender of Owen Riddle, as it's kind of bent in a little bit on that 10 car, so I'm keeping an eye on it because he could get a tire rub, and that could cause him to cut down the tire. You're going to see it as he comes by. There you see that fender kind of folded in a little bit, so we're going to keep an eye on that because that could lead to some problems for Owen Riddle. Shane Mitchell off the pace in the 99.
He's had some trouble here throughout the race, and now it looks like he's going to have to come back in. And
there you see him. Makes it into the pits.
We'll see if we can figure out exactly what his problem is. He had some problems in the back end there.
Pulls into his pit stall, and the way he parked it, that's usually the symbol that, yeah, he's done. See him taking the net down, taking the hood off. Tough break for Shane Mitchell in the 99. He had a run that could go. Back up front, it's Owen Riddle in the number 10. Closing in on some lap traffic here. We haven't seen much of this so far tonight, so who's this going to come out in advantage of as he goes around the 80 of Travis Allen?
So Allen now at least a lap down.
Lap leaders right there. Top 3, Owen Riddle, Mike Longton, Garrett Evans at lap 76. Closing in on the halfway point of this race.
24 more laps, and then we'll have a stoppage. Allow for fuel and tires, and then the final 100 laps of this race. And to the victor may very well go the spoils, meaning a championship here, a track championship for 2012. Not only a race championship, but perhaps that track championship with Eric Hargraves, the leader at this point in time.
But he just went a lap down to Owen Riddle. That was Hargraves in that black car right there. And he's off the pace as Longton has muscled his way around him.
And he has struggled since that crash. Both he
and Taylor
Riddle. And I'm trying to see if Taylor Riddle is still out there.
He's in the pits. I see.
Yeah, he's in the pits right now. So he is not
there he is
running at this point. There is the Taylor's car, and the way they're looking, he's done for the night.
They're keeping, looks like they've decided not to take any more risks with Taylor's car and focus solely on that car right there. Owen Riddle, Taylor's older brother.
And so Owen Riddle, 4th in the points chase here in Spokane. Hargraves number 1, Riddle only 8 points behind, and so right now, as we near the halfway point of this race, he would be the odds-on favorite perhaps to win the title this year.
Could be, and you saw Shane Mitchell, he was out of his car in the 99 walking around.
Now, there aren't very many cars left out here, which really helps as far as the, the half-mile track. It can get bottled up a little bit, and that's We're having some good continuous racing here.
Oh, trouble, Ryan Tarr.
Well, just as I say that, Ryan Tarr's got sparks here. He's going to head into the pits, and another yellow is out.
Lost a tire, flat tire on the 83. Right front.
So it's kind of like the old broadcaster's jinx. Every time you say somebody's a great free throw shooter, they miss the next free throw. We say we have trouble-free racing, and somebody blows a tire.
Tough break for Ryan Tarr in that number 83.
But he'll be able to come back out once he gets some fresh rubber on there.
He's going to need quick tire change, and they'll get him back out.
And we are running on another caution here. But probably this will be a very short caution once everything is squared away. I would think because there was no crash, no leakage of fluids, etc. So it's get things cleaned up here, and I think we'll probably be back to full speed racing, I would think, fairly shortly.
They just got to check the lineup real quick, make sure everything's in order. I see our sweep crew coming out just to double check, make sure there is no additional damage as they go to work on Ryan Tarr. You might notice he is one of two 83s out there tonight. That's the 83T of Ryan Tarr. You can always tell them apart because Ryan's in the blue one. Braden Havens is in the maroon one, still out there. That's Havens' Appleway iCar late model that Ryan is driving tonight.
Couple of Spokane drivers.
Looks like they're setting the cone out, which means
choose your side.
Choose your lane. Let's see who goes where as Ryan Tarr is coming back out in that 83 car. All right, who's going where? Here's a look at your leader, Owen Riddle. What's he going to do? Inside, outside. He's been taking that inside all night.
But he knows that Longton's in second, preferring the outside, but Riddle takes the inside anyway. He prefers the inside, Longton prefers the outside, so.
One car off the pace, Clint Habart in the 09. Trying to get back up to speed. Looks like he's got it under control. Oh, Ryan Tarr was backing up, and his car just kind of popped up a little bit.
Well, and Hargraves is having problems there in the backstretch in the 51, it looks like.
Looks like he might just be falling to the back.
Well, that could be, yeah.
Nah, he hasn't picked it up yet. He might be pulling in. So Ryan Tarr, there you see him backing up.
Wow.
He was backing up, and the car just, like, popped up. So not really sure what happened. Looks like some fluid coming out on the 83T. Well, they got the one to go from Larry Brown up on the flag stand. There you see car owner Todd Havens pushing the 83 back as, take a look, top four, Owen Riddle, Mike Longton, Garrett Evans, Giles Thornton. And
we are down to 14 cars now. We started with 32. We've had several cautions. We've had several red flags.
We're not even halfway done yet.
Survival of the fittest here tonight in Spokane in race cars as we're back underway with full speed racing again. Owen Riddle, he had opened up a little space there between he and the number 2 car and Mike Longton in the driving the number 37. Here comes
Giles. And here comes Jay Sauls on the outside of Garrett Evans.
Sauls trying to make a pass here.
He might get him.
See what happens here in the backstretch.
Evans kind of got down on the apron and it kicked him way up, so he had to back out of it. Give the spot to Sauls.
So Sauls now in number 4 position here, trailing Owen Riddle in the number 1 spot. Then it's Longton in second and Giles Thornton in third.
Sauls is running really high up in turns 1 and 2. I noticed it that last time. Let's see if he does it again in 3 and 4. Yeah, he's leaving a whole groove down there for Garrett Evans or Kevin Richards, who's behind Evans, or whoever it is who can make a run. But Saul's leaving them a lane. He likes that outside. Mike Longton doing a good job hanging tight with Owen Riddle right now.
Not a lot of space. between these two leaders at this point in time, a little bit more space goes back to the number 3 car, the third place car, in Thornton, driving the number 12 car.
And Riddle now beginning to put some space between himself and Longton. There you see the gap.
And in for 4th, Evans trying to take that spot back once again. Can't quite do it as Jay Sauls able to hold on.
Sauls was the car to beat in the Idaho 200. Garrett Evans took home the win in the Idaho 200. So
Evans has taken that 4th spot back again. Sauls back into 5th. Running in 6th right now is Kevin Richards.
I saw sparks from the 12 car that last time through Giles Thornton. So we'll keep an eye on Giles right now as you look at Owen Riddle. There's Giles. Saw some sparks last time in turn 3 and 4. None this time.
So Owen Riddle leading still with Longton in 2nd and Richards in 3rd. Garrett Evans in 4th. Kevin Richards trying to overtake.
Caution's out.
Sauls for 5th, and now we do have another caution as we have somebody
spun around. It's Hargraves.
Yep, Hargraves in the 4th turn there.
Couldn't see him right where I'm sitting in the booth. Yeah. There's a pillar, so he was stuck right behind the pillar, so I didn't see him spin out.
And so yet another yellow flag here, and that's going to put Hargraves into the pits. He is moving once again.
I see some movement in the pits. John Gamble in the 74. He's been in the pits for quite a while, coming back out. And Rusty Webb pulls in. So John Gamble rejoins the race in the 74. There you see Gamble.
Gamble out of Spokane. Yeah, he's been there for quite a while.
Been in the pits since around the start of the race.
Once again, we're under another yellow flag, another caution here at this point in time with Owen Riddle in the number 1 spot still. He has led for the last several laps here in this race, but I would say Longton still probably has led the most laps so far in this one.
Got to be getting close, though, for Owen. Got to be around even somewhere.
As you see, the work on Rusty Webb's 88 car.
There you see Dan Ortiz. Rusty Webb drives for Dan Ortiz in the Hot 96.9 Roadrunners out here on Friday nights. They race every Friday night. Dan Ortiz's car, and you see him there in the jacket with the white shirt, standing there surveying the car. There's Ryan Tarr. Father Matt Tarr leaning in the window, right there in the blue shirt.
There's Hargraves back out there.
And I see Webb coming back down too. Cohen is out, 1 to go.
Rusty Webb there in the 88. The lights are off on the lead car there, the pace car, and so we're going to have racing here before too long.
Oh, that was close.
Wow.
Our Cohen guy ran out on the track, didn't see Rusty Webb coming by at full speed. That was almost ugly. Good job there by our official to jump out of the way.
And here we go with the green flag.
All right, let's see what Longton has for Riddle this time. Riddle got the jump again.
And now
the battle's for 3rd, Evans and Giles.
Looks like Evans may have him.
Down the front stretch. No, Giles at the line.
Yep. Neck and neck almost as they head toward the back stretch. That battle for 3rd, you see it right there. Evans in the 64, Thornton in the 12.
And Kevin Richards and Jay Sauls hanging tough right there.
Thornton able to hold on, the 14-year-old. Holding on against the legend in Garrett Evans out of East Wenatchee.
And another legend behind him in Kevin Richards. Won the Coca-Cola 500 in Japan several years ago. So another racing legend, a local guy out here, Kevin Richards. But there is the man they are all chasing. Story of the year whenever this guy's out at SCR, Owen Riddle out in front.
Riddle came into the day 4th in the standings. Now you see lap 94. That means we're getting close to that 100-mile or 100-lap mark. And that would mean, will mean a stoppage of racing. Everybody goes, gets a fresh bunch of fuel, gets a couple of new tires, and then the back half of the race will start. And that'll be the chase for the championship, those final 100 laps.
Closing in on that halfway point now. It's been Riddle and Longton, the story of the Yakima cars all day, but
the only two guys who have led this race other than Taylor Riddle, who was on the pole for this race.
Yeah, Taylor led the first lap, and Longton took over from there, and Owen got him on round lap 40 and hasn't looked back since. As we close in on this halfway point, the drivers, they're going to tell their crew what the car is doing, and they're going to make adjustments to see if they can make the car better. So we could see someone entirely new who we haven't been talking about at all tonight. We could see him pop up out of nowhere here in the second half. So this is going to be interesting to see how this works as we near the halfway point.
And it may be a couple of the guys who have had some problems here. Maybe that'll help them get some things straightened out, so they can come back in the second half of this race and make a better showing of it.
I see Larry Brown giving him the signal. That means we're just about halfway. Yellow light, caution flag, halfway point. Owen Riddle, your halfway point leader.
Longton second, Thornton third, Evans fourth, Richards fifth. Sauls in the number 6 spot. They'll be your first 3 rows for the restart of this race in the second half of this race.
So it's going to be a 10-minute break as our drivers, they get some fuel in their cars, and we get set.
Anything surprise you about this? I mean, the number of yellow flags and the number of the red flags. Anything, Greg, that has caught your eye so far in the first 100 laps?
The number of cautions did kind of surprise me a little bit. That was pretty average for a normal Dr. Pepper Super Late Model race, but I wasn't anticipating that much, being it was a 200 lap race. I wasn't expecting that much to happen in the start, but we'll see what happens here in the second half. The second half of these races usually goes a lot quicker. I know I was out here for the demo derby on August 4th when the Idaho 200 was going on. Our demo derby had finished up 45 minutes prior. I was getting ready to leave the track. It was almost midnight, and I got a text from my friend that said, "Hey, halfway at Idaho 200." I was like, "Really?" And the second half was over within an hour, so hopefully that'll be the same situation here, as this first half really took its toll on a lot of race cars.
100 laps have been raced so far under green conditions, green flag conditions. We've had 63 under the yellow flag as well. So we've had 163 laps of racing here, but only 100 of them count toward the championship at this point in time. There you see the leader at this point in time, the 10-car Owen Riddle. He may be on his way to a track championship in 2012. The second half of the Spokane 200 from Spokane County Raceway is next here on SWX. And welcome back to Spokane Speed Night. Tonight's race coverage brought to you by Haskins Steel Company, a proud sponsor of Spokane Speed Night here on SWX. We're at the halfway point of the Spokane 200. Larry Weir, Greg Rentz, Owen Riddle is the leader, but we are seeing a lot of the top points people in big trouble at this point in time. Hargraves, Taylor Riddle is out of the race. It could open up the door for a lot of different people.
Lots of different people still in contention. The second place car, Mike Longton, was still in contention. We mentioned that a lot of things had to happen for Longton to win the championship, but a lot of things have happened.
Yep, Jake Bissett is also out. He was third in the points race coming into this evening. All right, so we're at the intermission here in this race. We'll have live racing back in just a moment or two. Last year we had the Venom 100 here on SWX. It was won by the man who is currently in second place, Mike Longton. Let's go back, watch a little bit of that race, and then we'll come back to live racing here on the Spokane 200 here on SWX.
Raceway still under a yellow caution flag here. 7 laps into the race, we've had 2 yellows already as Dave Schmick, the latest to get sideways on the track.
Yeah, Dave Schmick got sideways over in turns 3 and 4. And it looks like we have 2 cars out of the race thus far. I see the number 7, Jesse Taylor, who crashed earlier. And it looks like the number 05, Zach Moran, is also in the pits. And it doesn't look like he's going to be returning anytime soon.
So Dave Schmick was the one who spun out over there on turns 3 and 4, but he's back in the race now. He's got his car back on the track. So you take a look again, explain the cone one more time for us.
Yeah, the cone, what these guys are doing is they're choosing what lane they want to start the restart in. Do they want to go inside or outside? As you see, Todd Havens goes low while Jeff Smith goes high. These guys, you can actually gain a lot of positions in this cone restart if multiple guys go to one lane. I mean, this cone is really made for a lot of fun, and looks like Andy Brown took the inside. He's got Mike Zamora next to him on the restart.
Andy Brown had built himself a nice little lead before the yellow caution, and Zamora the one challenging him for second place. And we're green flag racing once again, and right out of the green flag, Mike Zamora looks for the pass on the outside.
Yeah, that outside lane really works here at Spokane. And as you see, it works yet again. This time as Mike Zamora goes to the outside. Here comes Mike Longton. He's going to take a peek on the outside of Andy Brown.
Thought he might go 3 wide there for a second. Instead, he drops in right behind Zamora, and he's right on the tail of Zamora, and he's looking to overtake the outside, and he'll move into second place now. So you're right, that outside has really worked nicely.
Yeah, and it's not done. Now it looks like Brandon Reel is going to take a peek on the outside of Andy Brown. He's going to make it. And the 51, Eric Hargraves now. So Andy Brown had himself a nice lead, but now he's going to be in 5th place just 2 laps into this run.
And that's one of the unfortunate things about the yellow flags for a guy who's gotten himself a little rhythm and gotten a lead, and then the yellow flag brings everybody back together, and now he's in 5th.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a long run, though, expect to see Andy back in. Andy is really good on the long runs. So these little short runs, they might do good for some and others bad, and then other drivers, it's just the opposite. Like, they'll do really good on these short runs, but bad on the long runs. So I'm sure Andy's hoping for a nice long run right now as we see Mike Longton taking a peek outside.
Zamora keeping his eye on Longton, is right on his tail, and right now Zamora able to hold the lead. Last lap time, 11 laps in the books here, 18.750.
Yeah, we got a battle for second going on now as Brandon Reel is going to try to make the inside work on the 37 of Mike Longton. And it looks a little loose, and they are dead even there. Looks like Reel might get him. And the 52, Mike Zamora, probably going to play a role as they're side-by-side, door-to-door going down the backstretch.
See Reel looking for that inside path, and Longton taking the outside path, and right now he's right to the side of Zamora, and he might take him here on turn number 1.
He might. That outside lane, it works sometimes, but look at Reel. Reel's going to try to make it 3 wide. They're 3 wide for the lead down the backstretch. Contact.
And it's Longton who comes out ahead there, and he's the one who overtakes the lead, and we have another car heading into the pits.
That's Dave Schmick again.
Dave Schmick trying to get back out there after he had spun out.
Dave Garber's on fire.
And you have a fire there at
Dave Garber.
Car, and he's going to have to go into the pits. So just like that, a couple of drivers back into the pits.
Yeah, Dave Garber was one of the premier guys who we said to watch, but again, you can never tell with these engines, and that thing just lit up. So Dave Garber, one of the top contenders, is now out of the race, and it looks like he's not coming back.
Unfortunate turn of events there. Dave Schmick, as we said, also had to come into the pits, and you see the smoke down in the pits as they tend to Garber's car there. And
we got a battle for second now. Oh, Zamora slid up the track. That's going to open the door for Hargraves. Hargraves is going to go from 4th to 2nd in one turn.
And all the while, it's Longton now who's built a pretty nice lead for himself as those guys battle for second behind him. Hargraves in second place, followed by Real.
Yeah, Real really dragging. It looks like Andy Brown has made a pass right back on Zamora. So right back, here comes that number 41, Andy Brown. Like I said, he needed a long run. He's going to get it, looks like.
Mike Longton continues to lead the race here. 18 laps in the books here. That last lap, an 18.995. You see the smoke down there in the corner from the Garber fire. How does that affect them?
Well, they're going to throw the caution because, I mean, obviously that's a safety hazard because if you can't see the turn, can't see down the front stretches, you see Garber out of the car and he is not happy. But anyway, the smoke, that actually affects the driver's vision because in the car they can't look around to try to look for a better angle. They're strapped in those cars very safely. So they're going to wave the yellow just to let the smoke settle because they're not going to be willing to take any risks.
Interesting, they did let him run a couple of laps there with smoke up and out, and boy, the visibility got really bad there as they were putting the fire out on Garber's car. In the meantime, now the 28 has head to the pits as well, and that's Ross Cooper who is in the pits as well as you take a look at Garber's car.
Oh, we got trouble. Aaron LaMountain is spun out.
So
Aaron LaMountain spun out and over in turn 3.
We have troubles all over the place with Garber's fire. Cooper's in the pits, and LaMountain has spun out over there in that back turn there between 3 and 4.
Yeah, and looks like LaMountain's overheating. And as it pertains to Cooper, I actually saw he was in the pits earlier and he came back out, but there you're looking at him, and it looks like they might have a flat tire on the 28. Yeah, they're changing out the right rear tire. So they're going to just change that tire. They're going to get Cooper right back out. Hopefully we'll see if Cooper has anything left.
So we started with 22 drivers. There's 5 in the pits right now. Cooper should get back out on the course. So we're down to 17 on the track right now, probably back up to 18. Make that actually now that
and now
with LaMountain going in, that's 6 in the pits.
Oh,
they
the body
push him in.
Shredded off the back of the 25 by the tow truck. And I don't think Aaron LaMountain realizes it. And he's got some steam coming out, so he is overheating on that 25 car. And again, that's another thing we don't really want to see because those engines will just melt down. As Ross Cooper coming back out now, they got that tire changed, and they're going to send him back out.
So it's a total of 5 cars in the pits now, so we're down to 17 drivers on the course as LaMountain makes his way into the pits. Cooper makes his way out after you said they fixed his tire.
Yeah.
17 laps in the books. Gave Longton that last lap, but they had gone to caution before that.
Yeah, Mike Longton, he's all the way out of Moxie, Washington. He made a long haul to come here, and he is got to be one of the fan favorites to win this race because he's won just about everything else.
Again, some of the things that he's done this year.
Well, not really much done this year, but in previous years he has won the Apple Cup, which is the race in Yakima. 125 lap race on the half mile in Yakima. He won that back-to-back in 2009, 2010. I mean, this guy, he is just one of the best drivers in the Northwest you can get. One of the fastest cars, always just a great show to watch. He's going to do good this year, I can tell.
So we've had 3 cautions now in 17 laps and kind of shaping up a little bit like the June 4th race.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, the June 4th race, we had a lot of cautions, and hopefully we don't see that again. Hopefully we can get a nice long run out of this as you're watching the crew push LaMountain's car back.
So Aaron LaMountain, who overheated, pushed into the pits, and unfortunate turn of events for LaMountain as well, as we've seen a lot of that happening here tonight.
Looks like they're going to give the spot back to Brandon Reel, the second place spot. They're going to move him back past Hargraves as they are trying to sort out the starting order. And they have set the cone down, so Brandon Reel's going to go on the inside of Mike Longton. So Brandon Reel is going to go from 4th. He's going to come all the way up to 1st.
So that'll be Longton and Real up there leading the way as we return to green here. And you can see them picking up speed again as they head back around. And we're going to go green flag once again here at Spokane County Raceway. Real on the inside, Longton on the outside.
And Real's making that inside line work. He's going to have the advantage off turn number 2, but here comes Longton right back.
And what is it about that outside line that has been so successful for these guys?
Well, since the inside line is the shortest, it's also the slowest. So the outside lane, you can actually go faster, but Brandon Real, he's making that inside lane work because he's going to have the lead over Mike Longton.
Real, a nice move there to keep his car in front, and Real will keep the lead over Longton, who is doing everything in his power to get past him here as we are underway again here at Spokane County Raceway for this late models Venom 100 here.
And you see Eric Hargraves, he's closing in. Hargraves, again, he's a former Fall Classic winner. He's a 4-time track champion at Yakima, so he knows how to get around these half miles.
The Dr. Pepper Super Late Models running in the Venom 100 here tonight at the Spokane County Raceway. A beautiful night here at the Raceway, a gorgeous weekend. We haven't had too many of them here in the Inland Northwest this year, but a beautiful weekend for the holiday weekend. A good way to kick off the 4th of July weekend, to come out to the track and all the festivities going here. All kinds of racing at the Spokane County Raceway, as you see. Real still leading.
Yeah, we actually have had not a lot of good luck with the weather recently, but just like years past, I mean, it seems April and May we get a lot of rainouts, and then we come to June and all of a sudden, bam, just there's not another rain out for the rest of the year.
So Real continues to hold off Longton here. That last lap, 18.678. Longton running an 18.662.
Single file throughout most of the track. Looks like we got the 52, Mike Zamora making a move on Andy Brown deep in the field. But right now, all eyes are on the top 2 because Longton is there on the 69.
And Real trying to hold him off right now. Eric Hargraves running 3rd at this point, behind those two who are continue to duel here with 23 laps in the book, make it 24 laps in the book here at the Spokane County Raceway.
Yeah, single file, and it looks like everyone's kind of 2 by 2 right now, except for the 51 Eric Hargraves, who's by himself. As we got a battle going on deep in the field, looks like we're around 7th. That's Andy Brown, and can't see who the other one is. They're going to come by us here in a minute. And that is the 83 Braden Havens, side by side with Andy Brown.
So there's some jockeying going on all over the track right now with drivers trying to move up in position, and right now Longton still trying to make his move on Real, and Real has done a nice job of holding him off.
Yeah, these are two guys who have a lot of wins between them. Brandon Real, always a threat. He's making his first start of 2011. Mike Longton, he's always been a contender everywhere he goes. This is a great race between these two. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, you saw Longton there on turn 2. He tried to go inside, and you saw the dirt kick up one more time as he got a little too close to the infield.
Battle for 4th you were looking at right there was B.J. Tidrick in the number 8 driving for Jesse Brown, and the youngster Blake Williams on the outside in the number 16.
Again, Blake Williams, the 16-year-old who's just one of the up-and-coming stars of this circuit.
Yeah, Blake Williams, he's got a lot of talent, and he's got a great mentor in Kevin Richards. I mean, Richards just won countless championships. His father, Don, was a race car driver. Blake's got a great future ahead of him. He's going to win a lot of big races, and he's got a shot at winning this one tonight.
Boy, and back at the front there, you see Real continues to hold off Longton. These guys are putting on quite a show for this huge crowd here tonight at the Raceway.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have another car retired to the pits, though, as it's going to be the number 66, Jeff Smith, pulling in, as Longton continues to put the pressure on Real. There you're looking at Smith, all the way out from Montana, our only Montana driver in the field. Smith in his first year driving the super late model, and his first ever start here at SAR, not a good turnout.
Jeff Smith out of Kalispell, Montana, into the pits now, joining 5 other guys in there right now. So the racing continues here at Spokane County Raceway. 31 laps under our belts here. We're going to run 100 tonight in this Venom 100.
As Longton again trying to look to the inside of Brandon Real, but Real's doing a great job protecting the bottom. We might have to watch these guys for the rest of the night, because this might be the battle for the win.
Yeah, those two running out by a good margin over Hargraves right now, who's running in third place. And Real, as you said, out of Warring, Oregon, has done a nice job of holding off Longton out of Moxie, Washington.
Yeah, but they're going to be catching lap traffic here pretty soon. Lap traffic always seems to come into play here, as there you see the number 59, Barry Shinger, out of Cranbrook, BC, Canada. All the way out from Canada. He's making his first ever SCR late model start. So, or second ever start, sorry.
So how does that lap traffic then affect what's going on here up at the front for us?
It can really slow you down, because when you've got just these two, they're running really fast. But when you've got a slower car coming up, they're going to have to slow down to try to pass them. So that could actually play into advantage for the second place car, because the leader could slow down, and the 37, Mike Longton, he could just use Real as a pick and just see you later.
You see right now they're coming up on that lap traffic as Real continues to lead Longton here. 35 laps in the books now here at the Spokane County Raceway for this Venom 100, as they are making their way up to that lap traffic, and they're going to catch them shortly here. The 59 of Barry Stinger will be caught here as they head through turns 1 and 2.
Change of position in third, Blake Williams, the youngster out of West Valley, going to be a junior at West Valley High School. He has gotten around Eric Hargraves, but the leaders have caught that number 59. Let's see what they can do.
And so Real is going to take the low side.
And you were watching the Venom 100 from last year here at Spokane County Raceway, and the 69 car you're seeing right there, Brandon Real, was leading for a good chunk of that race, but then had a little mishap.
Yeah, with 6 laps to go, Brandon Real in the 69. He had Mike Longton on his tail the entire night, and with 6 laps to go, Brandon Real got in an accident over in turns 3 and 4, handing Mike Longton the win. And Longton, you see him right there in the black 37 car. He is in the red 37 car right now, running in second behind Owen Riddle here in tonight's Spokane 200, which is still at the halftime break. But I see right now the cars are lining up, so we are getting set to go back to racing. As there you see your race leader is Owen Riddle in the number 10.
And Mike Longton is right there in the second position where he was last year before winning that Venom 100 here at Spokane County Raceway. We are about ready to start racing again, and we'll come back with the second half of the Spokane 200 from Spokane County Raceway next here on SWX. And welcome back to Airway Heights, Spokane County Raceway. It's the Spokane 200 during Spokane Speed Night. It's the Dr. Pepper Super Late Model Series here on the Super Oval at Spokane County Raceway. With Greg Rentz, I'm Larry Weir at the halfway point. Owen Riddle is the leader. Second place, Mike Longton, but he was a little slow in coming out of the pits.
He barely made it out. During the intro, I heard the announcer say 30 seconds left, and I looked over, and Longton was not out of his pit yet. So Longton, he makes it out in time, but he barely made it out in that red 37 car.
Another car looking like he's having some problems there in the pits is the number 74 car from John Gamble.
John Gamble, remember, he was in the pits for much of the first half of the race, a very, very good chunk of it. He came out with about 10 laps left in that segment, and there you see Gamble. Brand new race car he's driving there. Had some issues with it. He pulled in, got him worked out, so he's back out for the second half. And behind him, another guy who's been battling motor problems all night, Mr. Resiliency, we're calling him Showtime, Garrett Sawyer.
Be interesting to see how many cars start this second half of the race at this point in time. We were down at one point to, I believe, 14 cars. It looks like we have more than that out there right now.
Looks like Rusty Webb is back out there. I saw him pull into the pits earlier.
One car right there, the 2 car, Terry Armstrong Jr. looks like he wants to get back out there. We'll see whether he does.
Terry Jr. coming down. He's been in the pits much of the first half as well. He gets out there, squealing the tires, making sure everything's okay.
So some of these drivers who have been in the pits for much of the first half of the race, do they have any handicap here other than being at the back of the pack? Or do they have to, I mean, if they come out of this last 100 as the winner, do they win it?
Not necessarily, because they might be laps down. I'm not sure exactly who is what laps down, but they are laps down, I'm sure.
So they'd have to probably make up some laps.
Yeah, you could probably bet Terry Jr. would have to pass Owen at least 30 times to be in contention.
So you can see the pace car out in front of them there as the tires, we talked about this a little bit early on. They're just out there warming up the car, getting the tires heated up a little bit.
Mentioned that in the first half. You see our field going through. Good first half race between those two, Owen Riddle and Mike Longton.
They led probably pretty close to similar amounts, I would think. Maybe Riddle with a few more laps than Longton, but really they were the only 2 leaders that we've had here of any note. Taylor Riddle led the first lap, and other than that, he had the pole at that point in time. Longton passed him in the second lap. He led through the mid part of the race, and then Owen Riddle, I think they traded the lead a time or two. There is Taylor Riddle's car. He's been out since fairly early in this race.
Yeah, Taylor Riddle caught up in an accident around lap 45 with Eric Hargraves. He was in contention for championship with Hargraves, just 1 point back. Riddle's night done.
Hargraves is back out there.
Battling is that 51 car. He wants that championship tonight.
And he is one of those guys that's probably a few laps down. We're not sure exactly, but chances are pretty good that he's lost at least a couple of laps, if not more, on the leaders. And so he's going to really have to do a lot of racing, especially with Owen Riddle, who's one of the guys right there chasing him, being in the lead at this point in time.
He's been caught up in a couple accidents, has Eric Hargraves in the 51. Owen Riddle, he's probably his biggest threat right now, that number 10 car. He was in contention for the championship coming in, unbeaten on this racetrack this season, 2 for 2, the only repeat winner in Dr. Pepper Super Late Model history. He's got Mike Longton, who won that race that we showed you during the halftime break, the Venom Energy 100 from July 2nd, 2011. Mike Longton, you saw his black car. That's a different car. He has a brand new car out here. This is the second time he's brought it out. Longton was the winner of that race, and much like this race, he was in second most of the night. So Longton looking to go 2 for 2 here on SWX.
I believe the cone's back out again, and so that means one more lap, I believe. There it is.
There you see it.
You'll be choosing inside-outside now for the drivers, and I would guess that Owen Riddle will choose the inside, and that will push Longton to the outside. There you see 2 laps left.
As they drive by, yes, there it is. Riddle inside, Longton outside. Giles Thornton to the inside in third. The 14-year-old out of Whitefish, Montana, doing a great job tonight.
As you see the leaders right there, Thornton has not led in this race. Neither is the man in 4th position at this point in time, Garrett Evans. But they are still very much threats in this race.
Evans, the 64, he's fresh off one 200-lap win at the Idaho 200 just a couple weeks ago, looking for another one. He's had a strong night in that 64. Last time he was at Spokane, he finished 3rd in July 28th behind Giles Thornton in the 12. He finished 2nd to Jake Bissett, who we saw earlier in the night, unfortunately had a problem.
It's kind of interesting to me. Thornton can't legally drive on the roads in the area, but yet here he is out there at 14 years old driving here on the track.
Seen that plenty of times in these guys. Blake Williams, I remember, was the same way. He climbed into late models when he was 14, but Giles actually started a couple years ago. He actually climbed in when he was 13.
Wow. So here we go. I think we're going to get the green lap here. Or the green flag, I should say.
There you see the pace car diving off.
Yep, so we're back to racing, and the second half of the Spokane 200 is ready to begin from Airway Heights and Spokane Raceway.
Under the lights in Airway Heights, racing back underway. Let's see what Longton can do with Riddle here. Did they make the proper adjustments? Riddle again closes the door. Evans the third back there. He got Giles.
Yep. And trying to get Giles on the outside now is Sauls.
And Sauls is going to get him. So move Giles back to fifth. There you saw the sparks again, same as before. They've got new tires on, so they're getting the tire pressures up. So you're going to see sparks from a lot of these cars for the first couple laps.
So you've got the duo in front from the Yakima area. And then from Wenatchee, you've got Garrett Evans.
And Jay Sauls from Puyallup.
And, yep, Jay Sauls out of Western Washington. And in the fifth position is Giles Thornton, who's out of Whitefish, Montana.
And then one of the local guys, the first local guy up front, Kevin Richards in the 14. King of the Hill, as he's known.
No major changes other than Thornton falling from third to fifth and allowing Evans to move from fourth to third.
Jay Sauls.
And Sauls probably had the biggest move up. I think he moved from sixth or seventh into fourth.
And he's putting pressure on Evans. Those two were the story of the Idaho 200. Jay Sauls in the 20 was the car to beat. Garrett Evans was the car that beat him.
There's Riddle being chased by Longton once again. Can it be 2 years in a row in a televised race here from Spokane County Raceway for Longton? Be in that second spot and overtake the leader at the end for a title? We'll see.
Not only would that be 2 for 2 for Longton on TV, he would also become the second repeat winner in Dr. Pepper Super Late Model history. Tough task, though, chasing the only one to do it so far, Owen Riddle in that 10 car.
This is the way it's been for some time here, with Riddle leading and Longton in second.
Keeping an eye in the back there, Rusty Webb and John Gamble having a good battle. There you see it right there. As Gamble and Webb kind of made a little bit of contact, so Gamble had to back out of it, Webb had to back out of it. I've been keeping an eye on that last couple laps. That's Clint Habart behind him. Back up front, it's still Owen Riddle. They're coming up on Terry Armstrong Jr. in the number 2, driving the SCR Sportsman car, number 2 for Henry Blankenbaker. So they're going to catch him here in a couple laps.
And he is the lone, I guess, straggler at this point in time. Everybody else is keeping up a little bit better pace than Terry has been able to do in that number 2 car. That car has had problems throughout the race.
Looks like a bunch of 2-car packs right now as Longton and Riddle. Reverse the order on that one, sorry. But Longton in second behind Riddle. Evans and Sauls the battle right now for third. Giles, Thornton, and Kevin Richards the battle for fifth as you saw them catch Terry Armstrong Jr. They're going to lap him. There's Giles and Richards.
So another lap complete, so we're up to lap 110 now. And we've had caution-free racing for the first 10 laps here of the second half of this race.
Keeping an eye on our championship race. Hargraves in the 51.
He's about 9th or 10th at this point in time.
And Andy Brown's back there right behind him in 11th. There's Hargraves. Ryan Tarr is in between Hargraves and Brown. Those are 2 of your 3 championship contenders. Owen Riddle, the other. There he is, your race leader. Pulling away from Longton yet again.
Yeah, Riddle has been outstanding so far in this race. Since he took that lead, he has been tough for anybody to try to overtake here.
Owen Riddle has without a doubt been the dominant car in that number 10. Battle heating up here for third. Jay Sauls in the 20. Garrett Evans in the 64.
They're trying to close the gap on the 2 leaders as well.
Sauls gets a little loose off of turn number 4, has to back out of it. That's going to allow Evans to close up a little bit. You see, they've kind of switched. Remember, in the first half, Jay Sauls was running up at the top while Evans was on the bottom. Now Evans is running up top while Sauls is kind of trying to hug the bottom. Dirt. Someone, did Longton get in the dirt? Because I saw dirt kicked up.
Riddle is opening a nice little lead here over Longton. So you're right. Maybe Longton did get a little low there.
I think so. As Longton is getting caught by Garrett Evans now in that 64. So if he did get in the dirt, maybe might have messed up the handling a little bit on that 37 car.
We're seeing a little space now between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars and the 5th place car and Giles Thornton. He's getting a challenge from Kevin Richards in the 14 car for 6th.
Ooh, someone got loose. Who was that? That was Hargraves in the 51. Good save by Hargraves.
Tonight has not been his night. He is hoping to hang on to that points lead.
But with Riddle out in front and pulling away, it looks less and less likely, as there is the guy to beat right now. 3-car race behind him for 2nd as Evans and Sauls have caught up to Longton. There you see the 3 cars, 2nd, 3rd, 4th right there.
Longton in the red car, then it's Evans in 3rd and Sauls in 4th as there's the leader, Riddle. As again, caution-free racing so far. You made mention, Greg, that last year the second half of this race was a very quick race, and knock on wood, we've had great caution-free racing so far.
So far, the second half has been going off really quickly. They're clicking off laps. It's good to see them running like this, single file, clicking off some laps. You're starting to see some guys maybe save some stuff for that last charge. As we got a battle for 2nd now. Evans inside Longton. Longton shuts the door. Here comes Evans again. He might get him this time. Longton battles back, but 2nd place, Garrett Evans in the 64. And here comes Jay Sauls.
In the backstretch. And it looked like